Welcome back to my channel. This is the fourth video in the series Coping Mechanisms for the Election Season. And the theme of this video is negative visualization. And this practice comes from Stoic philosophy. And what generally one does in this practice is that whenever you're feeling frustrated or anxious about a particular situation, you imagine the worst case scenario in your head. That what is the worst possible situation that could happen at that particular moment of time. And then you compare it with the reality and do a sanity check. And that helps you shift perspective from the worst case possible scenario to the reality, which is way, way better. And that shift in perspective helps you become more grateful and resilient and to move forward and move from negative to positive. So since we are talking about elections, let's talk about the worst case scenario that could happen. Imagine that the candidate that you don't like has won. Maybe take a step further that there are protests around the country. You can take it a step further that there is curfew in some of the cities because of some sporadic violence. And just imagine that, visualize that situation. And take a breath, come back to the reality. And then you can use this practice at any situation, then do a sanity check that is reality equal to the worst case scenario. And even if some of the situations we imagine, they do happen, even in those situations, there is a much more worse situation. There are many countries across the globe which are totally war-torn for decades. Population is subjugated. Their voices are totally suppressed. And there's billions of people that don't even have access to basic needs like water and sanitation. So even in the worst case scenario in this election season, if you do a sanity check, we live in a country which is relatively very safe, where our infrastructure is relatively way, way better. We are a developed country. That is the reality, no matter what. Those are the facts. And so when you do the negative visualization with the worst possible outcome in the election season, you can realize that a lot of our fears are unfounded. And there are many, many things to be grateful for this beautiful country. And by using that practice in those moments, you can come back to your senses and shift momentum from pessimism to optimism. Shift momentum from feeling sad to gratitude for this life and to be alive in this country. And by doing that, you can make a clear choice when you vote. And by doing that, you help yourself by being resilient and sane through all these times. And not only you help yourself, you help people around you as well. So I'm going to end this video by recommending you that whenever you feel very stressed, overwhelmed during the election season or after the results, you use this practice and change your perspective and realize that reality is much, much better than the worst possible outcome. And if you like this video, subscribe, share, so that we can build more peace in our hearts and in our world. Love, peace, and health to you all.